Hello and welcome back to Lommel in Belgium, the final race of the day. The MX1 and MX Open riders about to take to the track for the final time here, the 66th edition of the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. My name's Paul Malin, and for a short while during this broadcast, an American rider, former Grand Prix, well, he had a year in Grand Prix, but mostly stayed all his time in the US, Jimmy Button, here in the US colours. That's where you're from, that's who you're rooting for. Coming into this third and final race, America really do have their backs against the wall, don't they?
Yeah, they've been cornered pretty much. You know, we've had that was a tough moto with Justin, but you know, it's nations and third moto. It seems like it's always the pivotal point.
Obviously, just looking at the point situation at the moment, Germany well and truly in the driving seat. They're on 19 points after the two races. Remember, 2 riders per race. There's 4 scores per nation at the moment. Germany on the lowest score, 19 points. 3 points from race 1 with Max Nagel. And we've got 4 from Roxon, a 5 from Roxon, and 7 from Schiffer in the second outing. Remember, you can drop your worst score, and for Germany at the moment, that's 7. So in real money, they're on 12. The USA are on 41, but they can drop 14 from either Blake Baggett or Justin Barsha from their outings. That brings them down to 27, but that's only good enough for 5th at the moment, so they still need a good race. Belgium, 55, they can drop a 38 from Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. They would be on 17, so that would put them 2nd. And France still have a shot at the podium at 3rd. They're on 23 if you take away their worst score of 19 from the 42 points that they currently have. So obviously we're counting all these scores at the moment. It's Germany, USA, France, Estonia, Belgium, the Netherlands and Russia, but Germany looking very much in control. Jimmy Button, are you surprised at how well Germany's ridden?
I think not. I mean, if you look at Ken and Max and the guys, you know, I think Marcus has done a great job just putting in a solid performance. But, you know, Ken has rode fantastic as he did when he was world champion. So it's somewhat to be expected, I think.
All right, here's Amy. She's on the grid.
It's the final race of the day. We're down on the start line. Let's have a word with Max Nagel. Obviously, Germany have, at the moment, a very great lead in the championship standings. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. About the leading, actually, I don't know about nothing about the points, because I said I just go and race best I can. Doesn't matter what the points are. And hopefully we can be on the podium, or if we win, that would be great.
And how do you tackle a track like Lommel?
It's difficult. You need to stay calm. You need to have a good start, push for the first few laps, and then stay calm. Go easy, because otherwise you get really tired, and then in the end you're done. So you need to save your energy until the end, and then yeah, you still can. Yeah.
Thanks, Max. Have a great race. We're going to move up the start line and have a word also with Gauthier Paulin, riding for Team France, and really doing a great job out there in the first race. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I was feeling really good. I mean, Marvin had a bad luck first moto. He was a bit tight on bike and had a crash. I was feeling really good, so I've given my best almost. You know, I had some problem with lappers, but still I finished 2nd, which was really good for Team France. And now tracks came more rough and more rough each lap, you know, but still I will never give up, just give my best. Xavier can get a good start, and we will fight for the podium.
Thanks, Gauthier. Right, before we see the final race of the day, here are the highlights from race 1 and race 2.
The gate dropped for race 1, and it was a flyer for Rui Gonçalves up the inside. But before long, Antonio Cairoli, number 46 on the right-hand side, found his way into the lead, pushing the Portuguese rider back into 2nd position. The threat, though, came briefly from Ken de Dijker, but Ken Roxon was having a great ride in 5th position. Eventually, he finished the smallest MX2 machine. Found a way past Desalu, eventually worked his way back up. But Cairoli, Gauthier Paulin, Max Nagel, Clement de Sal, they were all where they needed to be. The American Ryan Dungey started in 7th, got up to 6th, and then crashed with about 4 laps to go. And he could have done with that extra point going into that 2nd race, which was, of course, the MX2 and MX Open guys. Clement de Sal for Belgium brought his Suzuki home in 4th behind Max Nagel 3rd and Gauthier Paulin, but it was a win for Antonio Cairoli, but his teammate failed to finish in race number 1. So Germany were leading after the first race. Going into the 2nd moto, good start was needed by everybody, and Jeffrey Hurling's got just that, the home favourite. But the talking point and the big moment, really, as it turned out in the end, this early challenge from Justin Barsha on Ken de Dijker ripped out a bunch of spokes of the front wheel of the Honda machine. And he found himself losing a bunch more towards the end of the moto, and that would prove costly, as we might see in a little while. But it was Hurlings up front. He led every single lap. So now Lierop put in a good charge with the Dijker and Roczen, but Roczen was having a great ride. He was up to second for, a couple of 3 laps in the early part of the race before being caught and passed by Ken de Dijker and a hard-charging Tanel Lierop of Estonia. Those two having their own battle in the closing stages. Marvin Musquin of France, he eventually came home in 11th position. But Jeffrey Hurlings, though, he was the man that was on form, lapping around about 5 or 6 seconds faster. And that was the wheel of Justin Barsha locking up on his final lap. He managed to get into the work area and get it fixed and go back out and classify as 14th. But no one was a match for Jeffrey Hurlings, who picked up a win and 1 point for the Netherlands. Jimmy Button, 2 great races we've had there. Just a brief overshot there, but how unlucky was Justin Barsha then?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. You know, you come together with guys all the time, and to lose some spokes like that, and then with 3 corners to go, that the spokes lock up the front brake and you lock up the wheel, that's a pretty difficult situation to swallow, and you know, it is what it is.
So obviously, I mean, you've been down in the team area. Roger DeCosta has had a word with the guys. The morale down there, are they still upbeat? They still feel that they have a chance, or are they now fighting for second?
Yeah, I think the reality of the situation is you just got to try to find a podium at this point, and look at that as being the reality. And you know, if something fantastic happens with the in the luck category for us, then we might end up on top. But I think the reality is you try to get a podium and salvage a good placing.
I mean, I saw you at the start of the morning after the warm-up, Group 1. I think your words were, Team USA might need a little bit of fairy dust. Just judging by the performances of the riders, after practice, it was always going to be tough, wasn't it? But it doesn't help when you have a little bit of bad luck like that.
Yeah, I mean, we had to have, 6 good motos and no bad luck, and, we'll see what happens. Here comes the start of the 3rd and final race.
The gate drops here. Lommel for the final time. The all-important crucial ride. A good gate for Ryan Dungey. Flies through from a gate 10 or 11, something like that on the left-hand side. And a very fast sweeping turn, but it's Tony Cairoli, Ryan Dungey. They're the first two. The Russian Evgeny Bobashev looks like Clement de Sal, maybe Ken de Dijker in there. It's all the 450s, MX1 and MX Open this time around. No 250s to speak of.
Looks like Barsha's got a fairly decent start, a couple 2-3 spots behind Ryan, and yeah, I think this is going to be a good race. Let's see where Jeffrey is, trying to catch up to Tony, of course.
Well, that's Barsha there. Hurlings. It's Hurlings we need to look out for, because he would have probably been on the outside. Right, Cairoli over the line now. He's first. And we've then got Ryan Dungey, Evgeny Bobashev, Clement de Sal, Justin Barsha in 5th, Nagel, de Dijker, Paulin, Xavier Bourg is out on the first lap. We've got Schiffer, Guarnieri, Gonçalves. Where is Jeffrey Hurlings? Nowhere to be seen inside the top 20, unless I'm very much mistaken. Down there in 28th place, so he's given himself a whole bunch of work. I think they might have put de Rouvre up the inside, just on a technical level, thinking we can't win, but what we'll do, stick him up the inside, give ourselves a chance of getting both guys around, or certainly in the top places in the later race. But look at the speed, look at the start of Tony Cairoli. Judging what you've seen from him so far, it's going to be difficult for him to lose this, isn't it?
Absolutely. I actually sent Tony a tweet this morning saying what a good job I thought he did yesterday, and good luck today. I have a lot of respect for him, and we've been decent friends over the years, so it's good to see him ride well nations. He's had a lot of he's been snake bit quite often, so it's it's kind of his home track in a way, but it's good to see Ryan up here as well.
Yeah, he's managing to fend off the Russian there in the blue, Evgeny Bobashev. Just behind them, Clement de Sal in 4th place. That's the yellow Suzuki riding number 13 for Belgium. Barsha still there in 5th place on the inside on the red. Honda almost coming together with the Belgian as he looks to go, and I think he's just managing to fend it off, and he's closed it down, so he's gone into 4th place. Justin Barsha, the American. Obviously, the top 2 riders, the Americans, they're right where they need to be, 2nd and 4th at the moment. This will definitely help them, but at the end of the day, they've still got to close out with, you've got to get rid of those 14 points from race 1. That's probably not going to be enough. The 2 Germans, Max Nagel, he's in 6th. Marcus Schiffer is in 9th place. So still looking good for Germany. Jimmy Button.
Absolutely. They're doing a great job, and definitely Ken helped them out and gave them a lot of motivation and a lot of he really shed some light on them, and I'm sure he was very motivating during the break in between the 2nd and 3rd race here.
Well, there's Barsha right behind his teammate, I think there, isn't he? Or just behind de Sal. So through the line, there's Hurlings. Well, he was in 28th on the first lap as we went over the line the first time. He's just about to take the finish line in about 100 meters or so. He's certainly got higher up than that 28th, but going to be a very tough race for him. Be interesting to see what his lap times are when he starts getting in traffic right. He's over the line now, Herlings. And he goes through in 16th, so he's already picked up 12 positions on the first lap and going for a whole load more here. Look, right into the rear end there. I think that was Markus Schiffer, the German.
Yeah, and I tell you what, for anybody that's you're listening at home or you're watching this on TV or what it may be, it's an unbelievable track, and you really can't understand how difficult it is unless you're here. We walked the track last night after the qualification races, and it was unbelievable to see how difficult the track was then, and then they really didn't touch it overnight. And I can't imagine what it's going to look like after this third race is over. Yeah,
I heard, it might have been you telling me actually, Ryan Dungey went and stunned one of the corners and it was waist high. Yeah, one of the berms.
Yeah, there was a few holes out there that were pretty impressive, and looks like Justin Barsh is going through on.
Both Americans almost having a moment, and then Ryan Dungey gets slammed to the ground, only trying to avoid his teammate there. It was wow. Already trying to take a look. This is where.
And getting back on is pretty difficult here at the Grand Prix for sure.
Going to try and get in through pit lane here. Got to be careful not to snag any fencing. That was expensive for America. We'll see that again. It looked like Barcia was just coming through, almost as if Ryan Dungey said, yep, okay, teammate, let's work together. You go through, you're quicker at this stage of the race. But disarray down there in Team America at the moment, Team USA. Wow, that's a big moment, pivotal moment.
Really big moment, and in fact, he's fairly lucky they didn't get any of that green fence caught in his rear wheel. Here we have a replay.
He got a pitch there anyway, didn't he? So it wasn't even a case of trying to avoid his teammate. They both hit at the same time, and he went down. Lucky not to damage a shoulder there as well, because the ground there is quite hard.
Yes, it is, and that was a big moment for both of them. It looks like both of them could have gone down together at the same time, and it looks like Ryan's back to about
over the line now in 10th place.
Yeah, 13th at this point.
Still dropping down, yeah 13th. So there's Barcia then. He got away with it. He's in second. But certainly Team USA, Ryan Dungey, he's going to have to put his race face on now and then pull out all the stops. He's got Tommy Searle of Great Britain just ahead of him, and Max Anstey 10th and 12th and 11th. Jeffrey Herlings now in 10th place. So that's one of the big guys that Herlings hasn't had to worry about. But look at the progress that Herlings has made. 28th on the first lap, already now in 10th.
Yeah, and he's doing lap times that are between 4 and 6 seconds a lap faster than the guys ahead of him. So he should be making his way pretty well. And you know, Ryan's going to have to. He's definitely going to have to depend on his strong fitness level to get him through this. Even though it's sand, and this is quite different than what we have in the States. He's going to have to really dig deep on this one and go into the tank.
So with 24 minutes plus 2 to go, which is going to be about another 4 minutes added onto the time here. Evgeny Bobashev with the Russian and Clement Desal going side by side here through that long sweeping right-hander before they drop up onto pit straight. Desal just getting hung up on that crest there. Cairoli, Barcia second, Desal third, Bobashev fourth. They're going through right now. Bobashev taking a move up the inside of the Belgian and goes through, but Desal looks to fight back. We've got Paulin in fifth, the French rider on the green Kawasaki for France. The Suzuki of Tanel Leok in sixth of Estonia. Nagel trying to stay out of trouble in seventh for Germany. And Kenda Dijker in eighth of Belgium. Rui Gonçalves nine, Jeffrey Herlings, they were in 10th. That's how it was at the end of the previous lap. Over the line now, though, let's look at it. Germany on 26 with the worst races scored. Look at that, 26 and 28. So they've gone from being a mile in front on 41 and 19 to just edging it by 2. So Motocross Nations, Jimmy Button, a unique event in that respect, isn't it? Lowest scores, as in 1 point for win, 2 for second, 3 for third. Drop your worst score, 5 results count. And suddenly Belgium are right back in it.
Absolutely. You never know with this race. It always comes down to this third and final moto. The teams, and you know, they go into the third moto with a big lead, small lead, big deficit, small deficit, and it's you never know what's going to happen until the final checkered flag drops at the nations.
Well, even one lap to the next. Germany 26 points, Belgium 29, USA 40. France on 47, Italy 50, and Great Britain on 56. So still not over here as Jeffrey Herlings siding his way through. He's onto the rear wheel of Clement Desal here. And that is some pace that he's pushing now.
Yeah, Jeffrey is, I've been telling everybody for a couple of months now, you really got to watch this guy for us on YouTube or catching up with your guys' races. But he is definitely something special in the sand, that's for sure. And watching him yesterday and this morning as well, it's just been...
that's him in the orange, overtaking the Belgian Clement Desal.
He just puts the bike wherever he wants it and just flows around the track.
It's all about momentum with him, isn't it? He's not afraid to attack the racetrack. And he hasn't missed a beat yet. He's just going after here now, Gauthier Paulin.
Yeah, myself and Tyler Ratchway were actually talking about it a few weeks ago when Tyler was testing at home, and he said so much of Jeffrey's technique is what is so key on this, and it's pretty clear here today that his technique is just fantastic.
Gauthier Paulin up the inside of the Russian in blue, Evgeny Bobashev, but in orange for the Netherlands, Jeffrey Hurlings making light work on what is only a 350 compared to the 450s, but technique, Jimmy Button, is what you were just talking about. The front end digging in, the back end kicking around, but
and he takes any line that he wants. You know, a lot of the guys that get stuck in one line, they flow through it the whole way.
He almost rides like he's on a BMX, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And actually, Paulin was riding quite a bit like that in the first moto. So he's just, he's on another level in the sand, that's for sure. And I'm sure, he's going to be up here. And imagine in 3 laps he's gone from
28.
Yeah, 28 to what he's going to come around now in the top 5. Yeah, top 5, top 6 position.
Hurlings goes through in 4th place.
There you go.
And in traffic, matching Tony Cairoli for lap times, 158.9, those two guys. So if he gets clear track, then he can do something about that. It's 22 seconds down on Cairoli at the moment. This is what we said at the end of the second broadcast. It would be like a one-on-one shootout between Cairoli and, of course, Jeffrey Hurlings. But those two not really going for overall victories now like the USA or France or Belgium, so it's literally...
And we're still only 9 minutes into this race, and he's already done this type of damage, so it'll be interesting once he finds himself clear of all these guys. I expect him to catch up to these guys pretty quickly, and then, let's see what he can do with Tony.
So we're 20 minutes to go, plus 2 laps, so nearing the halfway stage. Cairoli has a 17-second advantage over Justin Barsha, Team USA, who had a big moment that also caught out his teammate Ryan Dungey, who's down in 11th place now, splitting the 2 Brits, Max Anstey and Tommy Searle. And when you look at that, Jimmy Button, Ryan Dungey has only been able to make up 1 or 2 places in the same time that Jeffrey Hurlings has been able to go from 28 to 4th. It gives you some idea, the intensity, the level that Jeffrey Hurlings is at as a sand rider.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that, you're probably flipping a coin right now between Tony and Jeffrey on who could be classified as the Sand King. To me, the Sand King's always going to be Stefan. I'll leave it at that, but these guys are riding fantastic, and it looks like he's caught up to the back of Justin right now.
And going to be challenging for, you'll see the difference in styles right now in terms of Justin Barsha there on the Honda, just ahead of Jeffrey Hurlings here, who's now in 3rd place because he's found a way past Gauthier Paulin.
And you can see the track is just, it's like being in an ocean at this point.
That was triple, double through there, wasn't it, yesterday? But the momentum that he's carrying on that KTM.
I would love to see a full lap on board with him just to see the lines that he's using at this point.
But like you say, it doesn't matter. He just picks and chooses where he wants. Look, inside of Barsha, he's taken about 10 bike lengths out of him just like that, and pulls another 5 or 6 bike lengths on him just in the space of a small straightaway. Look at that, just into the hole, up onto the top, out of the little braking bumps and ruts. Justin Barsha just needs to be careful now, doesn't he? Obviously needs to keep it on 2 wheels. Got to make a decision. Do I go after him and try and pull back another point, or do I just say, okay?
Yeah, I say you just let it be and you just try to, and here's another replay of Jeffrey going around him, but again, the technique that he has is just so much different than any of the Americans. Simply, most of the modern U.S. guys have never seen sand like this, and really and truly, unless you rode a year in the Grand Prix, that was the first time I'd ever seen it when I came over in '95.
Yeah, and that was a nice lesson in how to ride sand, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
So Jeffrey Hurlings then is up to 2nd position. Cairoli about 20 seconds further up the track. Justin Barsha there hanging on to 3rd place, but the Kawasaki, the French rider Gauthier Paulin, doing his best to close him down. There's a lot of noise around here, a lot of them coming from the German fans. Jimmy Button just taking a quick look at our timing monitor. What are you seeing there, buddy?
Well, it looks like Paulin's doing about a second a lap faster than Justin, and Jeffrey's on a 158. Actually, Jeffrey's going over 3 seconds a lap faster than Tony right now, but with a call it probably a 17-second, maybe 16-second gap at this point, that's going to be a difficult thing to erase. But we still have 17 minutes,
plus
2 laps. So you're still
not impossible.
No, not impossible. You're still looking at probably somewhere around 9 laps to go in the race.
Well, the guys are just coming through to complete what will be like their 6th lap. Cairoli already over the line, his 6 laps done. Hurling's over the line now. He's 17.5 seconds, or 17.8 seconds down, a 1:58.026 for him, 2 minutes for Cairoli. So 2 seconds a lap quicker. You start adding that up, that 17 seconds will soon be eaten away. Yeah, and if, you know, depending on how they come around for the 2-lap board, you know, depending on if they beat it by a few seconds, which is looking like it could be a situation like that, and you add another lap to the race, that could be a big turning point. And a few back markers. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Justin Barsha obviously was going to always provide fireworks, wasn't he, as soon as he was announced on Team USA, not for anything other than his exuberant riding style and his hard-charging riding style. He's certainly done that, and obviously we've seen him come almost unstuck there, but I didn't see what happened in the qualifying race, how he got caught out in that right turn yesterday. Yeah, I wasn't able to catch it myself, but yeah, it's quite unfortunate for him. Got his hands full of Gauthier Paulin at the moment, who looks like he's just biding his time. He knows what it's like to race around here, you know, for 40 minutes. Back markers moving out of the way. One of the Irish guys, I think that is. Maybe Stuart Edmonds, or maybe even Martin Barr, but oh, Barsha, I thought he was the front wheel in the hole there. Then he got short and bounced there, and Paulin goes through. So Paulin now up into 3rd place, taking another point, a vital point away from Team USA. And the standings look like this after 6 laps in this 3rd and final moto. Germany on 27, Belgium still hanging in there on 30, USA on 41, with France and Italy next. But we've got to look down for the German riders in the classification here. Max Nagel, the lead rider, in 8th. Doesn't want to be any lower than that. Marcus Schiffer down in 14th. He doesn't want to drop any more as well, because as soon as Tassel or De Dijker might get a move on in the closing stages of the race, that might be the determining factor, Jimmy Button. Absolutely. And again, I told it to the boys earlier that every point counts, every lap counts, and you can't really know where you're at until literally until the last lap and everybody comes across, because you know, with the dropping of the score, it really can change, you know, the outlook of this event quite substantially. And look at this, Jeffrey's already knocked it down to a 13-second lead. Did you see the way he went around that corner then? He's 4.3 seconds a lap faster than Tony at this point. So at that rate, we're going to have a race here in about 3.5 laps, and there'll definitely be some fireworks, and I can't imagine what the horns will be like around this track. Justin's found his way back past Gauthier Paulin into 3rd place. But just while you were looking at the timing screen, over the finish line, jump the right, that long left where Hurling's passed Barsha 2 or 3 laps ago. Jeffrey Hurling's carrying so much speed around there as if it was just a flat berm. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, it's this track is just becoming a bit of a war zone, and you know, you just got to take your time, and you really just have to let the bike do the work, and let your body just kind of float around on the bike and not be too stiff. Well, here's our race leader, Antonio Cairoli, jumping his way through down onto pit lane. He'll want to win here. He's got a house down the road in Lommel. He's 13.5 seconds clear. The interesting thing with Tony Cairoli, I think, Jimmy Button, will be whether Cairoli's thinking, right, I've built up a nice lead, I've just backed off a little bit, reel in Hurlings, and then go with about 10 to go. Of course, that'll be the interesting thing that we might see. Josh Coppins in from New Zealand, so not a great way for him to finish his final race in Europe, his final ever Motocross of Nations, but he's had a great career, hasn't he? Absolutely, and it was nice to see him, you know, even though it was a B final, it was great to see him get that checkered flag, you know, at his last event. Look at the line there. I'm just going to watch in amazement at this kid. He amazed me at Lierop, even though we know the damage that he can do, but it's just... It is, and he's hauling as well. There. It is quite amazing. I'm interested to see what this is worked itself down to right now. 1:59.5 for Cairoli. Hurling's 2 minutes are not good. 14.5 seconds. So not a great lap for Hurling's that time around. Of course, we are already getting into the back markers. But Bobrashev's got Evgeny Bobrashev. Big crash for him. So Bobrashev then, he's already dropping down the leaderboard, and that is coming out of turn 2, I think, before the chicane at turn 3, is it? Or is that a little bit further round? Facing in the wrong direction. And it looks like he caught one of those stakes as well as a hay bale. That's over on the middle part of the circuit, just close to where Ryan had that crash. Incidentally, Ryan Dungey's still down in 11th position, 2:07.4 for him in terms of lap times. He's still sandwiched between Max Anstey, who's now up to 9th place. Dungey should go 10th because Bobrashev, we saw him go down. Yeah, Dungey in 10th now, so they pull another point back. So with 12 minutes to go, Antonio Cairoli leads from Hurlings. Barsha for the USA is third. Paul Anna France fourth. Estonia's Tenol Lierop is fifth. From the Belgian, Ken de Dijker and Clement de Sal, they're both in 6th and 7th. Max Nagel just there, number 19, the German. He is well placed at the moment to potentially help Germany to win the Motocross of Nations for the first time in their history. They took a first podium in Denver, Colorado, with third in 2010. And here they are knocking on the door, but there's only 3 points in it. Not a lot of room for error. Jimmy Button.
Absolutely. It's coming down to the wire here. These guys, you know, these last few minutes, you know, we got just about 12 minutes, a little bit less than 12 minutes to go. And if these guys start drifting back a little bit more and a few things happen with this track getting rougher and rougher as we go with every passing second, it could be an upset here in the making.
Cairoli, he's completed 9 laps, 2:01.0 that time around. I think Jeffrey Hurling's got a little bit too much work to do now with time ticking away. Can't see him closing down on Cairoli, barring a mistake. Although, having said that, he's just gone and put in a 1:58 and brought it down to 11.3 seconds. It was 14 last time around.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey must have caught some lappers and got hung up a little bit. He's been consistently under the 2-minute mark this entire race, even as he was making his way through traffic. So 11
seconds, that's not a lot, is it?
No,
not around here.
No, I mean, 11 seconds you can knock off in a lap and a half at this place with a mistake or a good lap or whatnot.
Here are the two Belgians right in the middle. Clement de Sal jumping up the inside of his teammate. Ken de Dijker goes down. De Sal goes down in the right hole. He saves it. He obviously got held up there. He was legging his way through. He got caught. He may have just laid it over.
That was a big moment.
Especially with these guys being just 3 points off the overall now. Team Belgium with Ken de Dijker. How far is de Dijker behind Lierop? 6 seconds at the moment, but he's 5 seconds down on that lap.
It's unbelievable that they're already nearly a minute behind Tony. Unreal.
Well, Max Anstey down in 9th place is Ryan Dungey. Obviously, he had that moment. He's 1:09 down on Tony Cairoli with 14 minutes to go.
Yeah, and you look at this, and some of the the guys that are 6th place and beyond are lapping at over 10 seconds a lap slower than Jeffrey.
You really have to see it to believe it, don't you?
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Of course, the Motocross Nation being beamed on CBS Network in the US. How big a deal is that for you guys back home?
I think it's great. We've never had that before in the US, and I think it really goes to show that motocross is picking up popularity in the United States, and to be able to be played on Sunday evening in prime time in the US is a big move for us.
Just trying to pick our way through here. One of the MX Open guys there, but Max Nagel we're on board with here. In 8th place at the moment. That's still enough, because as long as he just sits behind de Dijker and de Sal, he'll be okay in that position, as long as de Dijker doesn't go forward. We've already seen him losing time to Tenol Lierop as Evgeny Bobashev comes in, explaining his way through the crash. He was having a great ride. Jeffrey Hurling's down to 8.9 seconds now. Again, 2 seconds faster than Cairoli. So we are, Jimmy Button, maybe going to see a bit of a grandstand finish here between the two Red Bull KTMs of Cairoli and Hurlings, and I guess the title, King of the Sand.
I think so. And, one of the things I want to stress is the fact that he just finished a moto, whereas, the other guys that were in the MX1 class, they've had a nice break. They've had a nice break in between, and he's just come off and had basically a 45-minute break in between motos, which is, again,
amazing.
Amazing.
I'm sure we'll pick them up, but here's the man of the moment at the moment. Split times as well. The first sector, 35.3 for Tony Cairoli, 33.9 for Hurling. So already eking away a little bit more time. We'll keep an eye on that second sector when it happens. But at the moment, we just caught an eye there on Max Nagel. He's in 8th. That's going to be good enough. That'll be sufficient for him, barring any mistakes, of course, for Germany to wrap it up here in Lommel. So with 8 to go, it's Cairoli and Hurlings, but Germany looking good to lift the crown. Marcus Schiffer, we're just looking at here. He's the teammate to Max Nagel. He's been a great anchor man this weekend. He's down in 15th, and another 2 seconds pulled back by Jeffrey Hurlings in the second sector. So we're looking at already 4 seconds, the gap between first and second. Here's Tony Cairoli, our race leader here. And Jeffrey Hurlings, he's going to be coming into view any moment now. The flash of orange, it might just be that half a straight is the difference between them.
He'll be shadowing Tony here within a lap, that's for sure.
There he is in the background. He's overtaken his teammate Mark Deruva, and he's going after Tony Cairoli. I mean, this is absolutely phenomenal, isn't it, Jimmy Button?
I can't imagine had he give it a top 15 start at this point, what the race would shape up to be and looking like now. And it looks like Tony's struggling a little bit with some of his lines, and again he dropped down to a 2:04, and Jeffrey did a 59.
Yeah,
and we're talking 5 seconds, and off of both world champions.
Just looking at the sunlight there, just dropping into the rider's eyes, just starting to get low there, isn't it? So visibility, just nicely picking his way up, bouncing over onto the thing, using it as a step up. Jeffrey Hurlings, they're the little areas. Tony getting the board. You're only 4 seconds clear of Jeffrey Hurlings. That's going to come down the next lap, that's for sure. Jeffrey Hurlings in second place for the Netherlands here, going after Antonio Cairoli. That gap is 4.2 seconds, and there it is. It's come down even more to lessen that, because Tony Cairoli's first sector split was 37.1. Jeffrey's was 33.9. So irrespective of what's going on in terms of the overall competition, which looks to be going Germany's way, this is massive in terms of the teammates at Red Bull KTM, Jeffrey Hurlings and Antonio Cairoli. Cairoli won't want to be beaten here. Jeffrey can't afford to be beaten here because he is the self-proclaimed king of the sand. Jimmy,
absolutely, and I tell you what, there's going to be, I think, some sort of a celebration, and maybe not a celebration in the Factor KTM pits this evening, but nevertheless, these guys have both have ridden outstanding today, and both will come away with the individual wins for MX1 and MX3. So,
and Roczen already in MX2, so Red Bull KTM sweeping the board in their classes.
Clean sweep, that's for sure. And I think they actually went 1-2 in every moto yesterday.
This will be interesting. 5.5 minutes. We're keeping one eye on the De Dijker to Nagel situation, the two Belgian riders and the German. Back marker there getting in the way of Hurlings. That would have upset the momentum through there. There's a little bit of give and take here, isn't it? Look at that. Better momentum, though, for Hurlings. I think just slightly better through the wave section. That's Cairoli just ahead of him on that right-hand turn. Over the finish line jump now for Cairoli.
And for Jeffrey, I mean, at this point, there's blood in the water. You can see him, and, you know, he's going after him like some sort of a beast at this point. But just outstanding ride. And, again, if you're not here, it's really hard to describe what we're watching in person.
Watch Hurlings at the end of the straight. 3 or 4 bumps here. Picks it. Oh, wrong camera angle. But hopping up onto there, no problem. And he's cut that down again. It was 1.9 over the line. Got one thing on his mind, Jeffrey Hurlings. Taking the scalp.
Absolutely.
The momentum that he carries. These guys on identical machinery as well, 350s. There isn't a 450 in sight here between these two guys. And it's amazing, isn't it, when we see them 40 seconds clear of Justin Barsha, the speed in which they're still pushing this, I mean, you know, the way they're attacking the circuit.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that we were studying about, you know, both about Tony and about Jeffrey, is the fact that they jump so much further off all the jumps, and they in a sense, they're missing more bumps than everybody else, besides just going so quick. They just miss more of the obstacles in the end.
And for someone like Jeffrey as well, he gets on the gas just that little bit earlier, just to be able to propel himself over another hole, where other riders get on just that split second later and don't have the drive to be able to do that.
Absolutely, and it looks from the looks of things, it looks like we're going to have about 4 laps to go from here on out.
There's the gap. There's the battle for the win. And for the lead in this race, the blue of Tony Cairoli of Italy, the 6-time world champion, and Jeffrey Hurlings of the Netherlands, born in the sand, quite literally. The MX2 world champion. And he's going after Cairoli here. What's the lap time going to be this time around? Barsha 40 seconds down, Lierop in 4th, De Dijker of Belgium in 5th, Desal in 6th, Paulin of France in 7th. Nagel 8, Anstey 9, Dungy 10, Gonçalves 11, Tommy Searle is 12th, Guarnieri 13, Schiffer is 14th. Cairoli, he's going to be the first to hit the back markers. Hurlings getting a little bit high there, but just kept it pinned, kept the momentum, and kept on charging. Cairoli puts the squeeze on the tail ender. But you can learn so much, can't you, from watching the two riders here. Good drive for Hurlings. There he is. Can he get it here? No.
It's going to be close. It's going to be interesting going through the lap riders. But at this point, I mean, he's shadowing Tony at this point. I mean, it's going to be tough for him to hold off. Although you never know. Tony's he's a 6-time world champion and a fighter.
I mean, just that through there. Then he wheeled and skipped, and then skipped his way up in 2 moves onto that left-hander. Face full of roost off the rear wheel of Tony Cairoli, though.
I don't think Jeffrey's going to leave anything on the table in this race, so that's for sure.
Nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. Tighter line through there, going for the bigger holes, getting the drive on the back wheel over the crest. The Dutch fans are going crazy. The Italian fans are going crazy. I mean, I know we have little transatlantic banter, don't we? A little bit of bench racing about the World Championship, the American Outdoor Nationals, in terms of the best riders in the world and everything else. And in one way, you know, the Motocross of Nations is only one event, isn't it? But, you know, when you see these guys here in sand, you can sit there and say, right, these are definitely the fastest two riders.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Put them on a US National for 15 rounds, different story.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is, our terrain is different. I mean, I think it... you know, a good case study as you look at Ken, you know, who really dominated the championship last year. He came over to the U.S. Championship this year, and he only won one moto in the end. I mean, he had a lot of chances to win, and Ken really did a fantastic job with adapting to our tracks. But, you know, in the end, I think it's the same for American riders coming over here. You know, I was explaining to Blake after the first moto, rather after the second moto, you know, if you look at it on paper, you would have come away with a third overall here today. You would have lost some points, but, you know, you would have been respectable and been on the podium. Yeah. And so, you know, you got to look at that. I mean, this is a very, very different sand than anything in the States, and it's impossible to replicate this. So, Cairoli is fantastic.
Cairoli back to lap his teammate. Wasn't a great lap for Hurlings that time around, but he's going back after Tony Cairoli, the first of the Italians in that shot. Davide Guarneri, he's in 13th place. Tommy Searle just around the corner in 10th place, or in 12th place, I should say. Guarneri just getting in the way there of Jeffrey Hurlings. It's going to be tight between these two guys. And Guarneri's still there, look, holding him up. And then goes down at the top. That's how hard he's working just to try and stay on the track. So when you see these two just gracefully floating around like this.
And, you know, I think there's a point of it, too, that Tony had a big lead. He was probably pacing himself, you know, relatively easily. And I'm sure he got the pit board from the Red Bull KTM boys that Jeffrey was on his way. And, you know, maybe decided to pick it up a little bit because they've been matching splits pretty much lap for lap and split for split over the last couple laps. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Looks like we're going to get the 2-lap board this time around.
Yeah. Well, this is what we said, wasn't it, a few laps ago? It'll be interesting to see whether Cairoli has just reeled him in and then a few laps to go has decided, okay, I'm done messing with you, come and get me. Germany 26, Belgium 28, USA 40 at this stage. So only 2 points in it. So has Nagel lost a position? No, Schiffer down to 15.
They'll be throwing the 15 away.
Yeah, is that with all the results counting at the moment?
Yeah, that's with one removal.
Yeah, but even still, with everything gone, that's two, down to 2 points. There's Hurlings. Okay, well, Jimmy Button, thanks for joining us in here. I know you're only going to stay for a few laps, but I think you've been so enthralled by the Cairoli-Hurlings battle.
Absolutely. It's been great to watch, Paul. Always a pleasure, and it looks like I get to join the boys on the podium.
No problem. Catch you later. Thanks, and we'll see you later. Jimmy Button there, joining us here in the booth, and he's going to make his way outside to the finish line area, but we've still got a lap and a half to go in this final race of the afternoon here at Lommel. 125 and open. The 450's out on track. Antonio Cairoli has established himself here. He's 3 seconds clear now of Jeffrey Hurlings. A slight mistake through the left-hander before he dropped around the tower. And this will be a nice celebration for Cairoli if he brings it home. There's Justin Barsha, the American. He's had a better ride this time around. He's kept it up on 2 wheels. He's bringing it home in 3rd place. His teammate Ryan Dungey down in 9th. So Team USA, who have 22 victories under their belts at the moment and 7 on the bounce, coming into this 66th edition of the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations, are now looking at the very real prospect of losing here in Europe to Team Germany and Team Belgium. Marcus Schiffer, he's down in 15th position at the moment. He can't afford to lose any more ground to anybody. Can't afford any more slip-ups. because otherwise it will go Belgium's way. 15 laps complete. Tony Cairoli 3 seconds clear of Jeffrey Hurlings, who's put in a very, very solid performance in this race, coming from outside the, well, almost 30th on the first lap, 28th as he went over the line after turn 5, and has worked his way up after 2 laps into 4th position. And now he's there in 2nd place, but Cairoli's 2.8, the gap's coming down again. Cairoli and Hurlings, though, Red Bull KTM 1-2 matching each other that time around, just 3/10 the difference. Here's Hurlings. We'll see Cairoli just ahead of him, the other side of the dip maybe. But Cairoli on the final lap. Oh, Waters goes down. That might play into the hand of Schiffer. That might give him a point back to Germany. The concentration levels here of Antonio Cairoli, absolutely magnificent. And so too Jeffrey Hurlings, just popping into view now over the hill. Through the gap for Cairoli. Here's Hurlings. Blindingly fast, both of these guys, but Jeffrey Hurlings going to have to play second fiddle to his teammate, the MX1 world champion, Antonio Cairoli. But a lot to talk about in this race. The start, the Barsha and Dungey incident right there in the background. The bad start from Jeffrey Hurlings, the dominant display from him, but Tony Cairoli, a master of situations, just literally flicking the switch right in the end just to do enough to stay ahead of Jeffrey Hurlings, who's right there in his wheel tracks. Won't give up though, Hurlings. Closing right in. He's made Cairoli work for it, that's for sure. Celebrates with a one-handed whip. Antonio Cairoli goes past the VIP area into the rhythm section. He's got just one more corner to negotiate here, the number 46 Italian. Through the final corner, Antonio Cairoli is going to win the MX1 class here, and he takes a massive victory as well. A double win here. There's the celebration. And I think not because it's a two-moto finish, but because he beat that man there, Jeffrey Hurlings, in what was an out-and-out shootout. Jeffrey Hurlings can only look on. He is not happy that he's been beaten by his teammate. But had he have started up the inside instead of his teammate Mark Deruva, we might have been looking at a slightly different result there. That's not the first time that that bike will be revved to the hilt. Anybody that was in Faenza and Teufelstal recently would have witnessed the scenes in the KTM tent at the party. The bike with the front brake on, the rear wheel spinning up on the factory mat, on the work mat in the awning, doing a burnout. Barsha, final turn for him. It's been a great ride for him, but it's not going to be enough for USA to reclaim the championship, the Chamberlain Trophy. He comes home 57 seconds down on Tony Cairoli and Jeffrey Hurlings. Tanel Lierop, we wait for him to come through in 4th. We keep an eye on Max Nagel and also Markus Schiffer, because they will be the determining factors in the outcome of this event. So Cairoli over the line to win it. Hurlings 2nd, Barsha 3rd, Tanel Lierop of Estonia 4th, De Dijker 5th. We wait for Max Nagel, who's up to 6th, so that will surely be enough for Team Germany. Germany already over the line, I'm sure they are. Here's De Sal. De Sal is in 7th position. So that will be enough. Germany are the world champions for the very first time in their history. And Max Nagel is the rider that's brought them home, which is quite fitting, really, after all of his bad luck over the past couple of years with injuries and that kind of thing. Max Nagel wins it for Germany. In a Motocross of Nations that has been a severe test for the very best riders in the world. The Americans have lost here after 7 straight victories, and Team Germany are the new world champions. And they will go to Teufelstal in Germany in a year's time, with the 1, 2, 3 plates right on the front of their machines. Jeffrey Hurling's just getting a wash down as the crowd erupt and surge out onto the circuit to witness what will be a very, very noisy podium, I'm sure. Here's Cairoli. So the riders over the line then. Let's just take a quick look at the classification. Germany on 25. Belgium are on the podium on 29. And the USA on 39 in the end, with the Netherlands 4th. But this is the race result. Cairoli, Hurlings, Barsha, Italy, Netherlands, USA. Tonel, Lierop, Estonia. Kenderdijk, Belgium. Nagel, Dessau, Paulin. France, Dungey, America, Gonçalves, Portugal, Anstey, Great Britain, ahead of Tommy Searle, Great Britain, Guarnieri, Italy, Schiffer, Germany, Waters, Australia, Xavier Borg, Mark de Ruva, Gert Kressenoff, Lawson Bopping of Australia, and Loris Freebergs. Behind them, in 21st, Martin Barr of Ireland, Philip Bengtsson, Kim Lindstrom, Luis Correa, Clement Gertje, Evgeny Mikhailov. Of course, Evgeny Bobashev, Josh Coppins going out in the early stages of the race. But the big news, as Jeffrey Hurlings rides to the winner's circle to get a race interview. He will not make the podium, but Germany win it by 4 points for the first time in their history. Max Nagel, Ken Roczen and Markus Schiffer. 25 points for Germany, 29 for Belgium, the USA 39, outridden really, and they had a bit of bad luck as well with Justin Barsha. The Netherlands 44, Italy, France, Estonia, Great Britain 8, Portugal 9, and Australia 10. Russia, and then the rest, Ireland 13th. Their intent this weekend was to not make the B final. They made the A final. They were looking at a top 10 position potentially after the second race. But there's Schiffer, he can't believe it, nor too can Roczen. Ken Roczen then will add an FIM Motocross of Nations title to the FIM MX2 World title from last year, 2011. He's going to go to the winner's circle there just to congratulate Max Nagel, probably, I would think. So what a great day here. Fantastic motocross event. A great spectacle. Of course, every year that the Americans continue to win, there's always going to be a year where people say there's a possibility they could lose. Well, unfortunately for them, that day came, but they will bounce right back in Teufelstal on a hard-packed circuit. There'll be more to their liking. Antonio Cairoli. Class MX1, Cairoli, Nagel and Paulin. Dessau, Dungey 5th this weekend. Some nice trophies out there as well this weekend. Monster Energy, not sure which ones we'll be seeing first, but obviously the Chamberlain Trophy, very distinctive in what it looks like, but look at the fans converging on the podium. They've witnessed another historic event here. I guess quite similar to the one from 1994. But here's Roczen just interview. Thomas Ramsbacher there from Rockstar Energy Suzuki as well, the former boss to Ken Roczen, but very German at heart as well. Great day for those guys. Schiffer can't believe it. He really can't believe it. Many saying that he might be the weak link that might let them down, but the same team pulled through and got on the podium in 2010. And they've done it again here and gone 2 steps better. MX2 will be Ken Roczen with Baggett and Marvin Muscan, with Tonkov 4th, Ratzep, Olsen, Graham Irwin and Luke Stike and the rest. Jake Nichols, a DNF in the second race for him. So Tomkov had a good ride.
Kijk even aan de zijkant. Joël Robert. Hij kreeg de tranen in zijn ogen. Harry Everts. Hij ziet het nu. Hij was vol van emotie. Dan straks ik bij die kleine mannen. Ik had het even niet meer. Het is de dag van mijn leven gebleven. Het is een werkelijk schitterende dag geweest. Met twee collega's, Francis Magnanou en Roger Warren.
Great scenes here at the podium. Great aerial shot there of the circuit here at Lommel, the scene of the 66th edition of the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations. Seen very, very many battles over here in terms of Grand Prix and one or two other races, but 31 years after Team USA took their first victory here in Belgium, they lose a 7-win streak to Team Germany and Belgium in dramatic fashion. A mixed bag of results. Broken spokes in the second race for Justin Barsha, a crash for Ryan Dungey in the third race. Blake Baggett had an up and down ride in the first moto, but they'll still make the podium here. They'll still walk away with a medal, although it will be a slightly different colour than what they expected. Roger DeCosta, though, he tried to prepare the riders in anticipation for this event. He knew firsthand how tough it would be, this challenge. But as Jimmy Button said to me before we came on air, the damage to the front wheel of Barsha in that second race hurt them badly. That could have kept them in the hunt, certainly for second and maybe even a win, but open class. Jeffrey Hurlings, he wins it with Lierop second and Heideka third. So they'll be on the podium as well probably at some point. In a moment we will go down to the podium. There's some earlier images. The other ones were live, but still a great place, a great spectacle. And the crowd here turned out in their tens of thousands. Don't even know what the figure was, but there wasn't an ounce of circuit that wasn't covered. A lot of them trying to get out, beat the rush. Well, good luck to you guys, but the rest of them trying to stay here. Look at the German flags in the crowd. And there's a budding racer right there. We had Prince Philip here, the son of the King of Belgium. That was his little box over there on the left. Had his own little VIP area. I think he's going to be here handing out the awards at some point. But before the podium, though, we'll check out what happened in Moto number 3 here. The gate dropped. And Tony Cairoli got off to the best start he could. Jeffrey Hurlings was squeezed all the way to the outside, but second and third in the race. Barsha had a moment, and his teammate also went down. And he went down hard as well, picked himself back up in 13th place, but eventually came home in 9th position. Had a quick look up to see where he could rejoin the track, but it was a little bit further round a corner. Jeffrey Hurlings then went up the inside of Barsha to take second. At that point, he was about 15 seconds down on Tony Cairoli. But he caught him in, reeled him in. And Tony Cairoli then had a battle on his hands for about the last 15 minutes of the race. Jeffrey Hurlings had caught and closed, but then he got held up by Davide Graneri, Tony Cairoli's teammate there. That might have proved costly for him in the end. But Tony Cairoli, though, riding an absolute flawless race. He came home to win the race at the end, 3 seconds clear of Hurlings. Justin Barsha, a brave ride for him in third. But A great celebration for Tony Cairoli. He beat the fastest man in the sand in the world, Jeffrey Hurlings, with a very great display of himself. Lierop was fourth, De Dijker was fifth, with Nagel in sixth, and that was enough to crown Germany world champions in 2012.
Okay. Derde geworden in de Motocross of Nations, the Monster Energy, the United States of America.
Third overall then on the podium this weekend, Team USA. Ryan Dungey, Blake Baggett and Justin Barcia. Roger Da Costa, the man. Not very often he faces defeat in this event, but unfortunately for the Belgian, coming here on home soil. Second overall, though, this weekend, Team Belgium. That'll be a big cheer. Team Belgium, of course, with Commander Sal, Ken De Dijker and Jeremy Van Hoorbeek. They take second overall. Team manager Joel Smets. Nothing other than the top step of the podium would do, he said, in the report that we did earlier in the second race. They were prepared, but again, just a mixed bag of results, really. But the world champions, 2012, the 66th edition of the FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations, Team Germany, Ken Roczen, Markus Schiffer and Max Nagel. And they will remember this moment for a very, very long time. And the Americans can only sit there and look on. Look, Ryan Dungey, Justin Barcia, Blake Baggett from left to right on the American on the third step of the podium. It was always going to be tough. Always. Not an easy place to come to here, but in the end, the Germans were the most consistent. They finished with the lowest scores. 25 points for them. Third and a fifth, the fourth and a seventh. In fact, third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh for the Germans. Vito Polito, the FIM president, handing the third place trophy to Team USA and Roger Da Costa. Congratulates Blake Baggett, Justin Barcia and Ryan Dungey. It's not the Chamberlain Trophy, but they are on the podium. They haven't disgraced themselves at all, Team USA. Second overall for Team Belgium. They take the second place trophy, and I think the Monster Energy Trophy there. Just a little souvenir keepsake, or that's Ken Roczen actually. Sorry, third overall, second overall there. Commander Sal just taking the trophy. I think there was just a souvenir trophy there, but Ken Roczen was the winner in the individual class. He's also a winner here for Team Germany as they receive the Chamberlain Trophy for the first time in their history. His Royal Highness Prince Philip of Belgium on the podium here, hands a trophy to Team Germany. Markus Schiffer in the middle, Max Nagel on the left, Ken Roczen on the right. And team manager Hubert Nagel. And what a great day. Great scenes. There's going to be extended party hours down in the temporary nightclub out in the parking area. There is Hubert Nagel in the front, but what a day for these guys. Max Nagel finally wins a world title. Germany, world champions for the first time in the Motocross of Nations. National anthem for Germany. And it is a big cheer for Germany as well. Don't get many sights like that from the top step of the podium. Team Germany, Ken Roczen, Max Nagel, Markus Schiffer, they'll remember that for a very, very long time to come. They've got gold plates there. They're the FIM Motocross of Nations World Champions. The first time in the history of German motocross. They'll go to Teufelstal in a year's time as the defending champions. Not sure what the team will be there, but this is the last major race of the 2012 season. And everybody gets busy with the fizzy. Americans a little bit slow on the uptake to get the bottles flying. Surely they're not going to be in too much of a mood to celebrate, but they shower Max Nagel's father in champagne. Hubert Nagel, of course, the team manager. And it's going to be very, very difficult to get out of here. Father and son in it together. What a great day, what a great day. Team Germany win here. Belgium second, USA third, the Netherlands fourth, Italy fifth, France sixth, Estonia seventh, Great Britain eighth, they tied on points, Portugal 9, and Australia, they were 10th, with the Russians 11th, Sweden 12, Ireland 13, Latvia 14, New Zealand 15, Slovenia, Norway, Denmark, Switzerland with only 2 riders, and Finland. That's how it finishes here in Lommel. Hopefully we'll be able to get a word with one of, if not all of, our winners. And they're already starting to go crazy, look. And the French, the Belgians, the Germans are all in there. The individual class wins, maybe next on the podium. But if that's the case, and Antonio Cairoli, the overall winner there. I think there'll be a big German team photo first. Yeah, not light, the Chamberlain Trophy. Had a refit, a new base on there. It used to be a black, more rounded base. So it had a bit of a refurb, but there's your Team Germany. Hubert Nagel, the team manager, Ken Roczen, Markus Schiffer, and Max Nagel. There's Jeffrey Hurlings on the podium. He's getting ready to receive what would be his open class trophy for the win. I mean, you've got to look at Max Nagel and say, you know what, after all the bad luck you've had, the injuries that you've had, his season was delayed until about 4 rounds to go of the FIM MX1 Motocross World Championship season. He hit the podium straight away in his first race back. Was selected for Team Germany, of course, on the basis of his form. No clues as to who he's supporting. And I don't mean Ken Roczen. Oh, here we go. Not quite a mankini, though, is it? So Team Germany, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th in their races. Belgium, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th and 10th. They were the 4-point difference. USA, 5 points that they could have had. Would have been a 7, a 14, a 6. Could have been slightly different, I think. Let's see if I can... There's your individual winners. Antonio Cairoli, MX1 in the middle. Ken Roczen, MX2 on the left. And Jeffrey Hurlings winning the open class. But he'll be wondering about the decision to start on the outside and not give himself a chance of going straight up head-to-head with Antonio Cairoli. So the MX Open winner, Jeffrey Hurlings, gets a gold plate. Another one of them. Dr. Wolfgang Schrub, the FIM CMS director.
Voor de MX2-klasse. Ze hebben hem speciaal in de Verenigde
Second, for the third straight MX2 class win for Kenny Roczen. So a class winner, and of course a nations winner as well here.
Je kan maar één de beste zijn. Hij is gisteren gehuldigd als wereldkampioen voor de 6e keer. Als ereburger en sportman van Lommel. Uw applaus voor 6-voudig wereldkampioen Antonio Cairoli.
Tony Cairoli wins the MX1 class, 2 wins out of 2. He's having a party tonight in town, not a million miles away from here as well. So I can't imagine it'll be too quiet down there. There's your individual class winners: Ken Roczen MX2, Tony Cairoli in the middle MX1, Jeffrey Erlings MX Open. So they make their way off the podium. Hopefully we'll be able to grab a quick word with our winners, whether it be Team Germany or the individual riders themselves. What a year he's had. What a year Jeffrey Erlings has had. But Kenny Roczen, ending 2012 as a winner of the FIM Motocross of Nations winner with his teammates Max Nagel and Marcus Schiffer. We're getting ready to go down to interview. Not quite sure who Amy's down there with, but whether it's Team Germany or the individual class winners, I'm assuming Team Germany, in which case that would be Hubert Nagel, Ken Roczen, Max Nagel and Marcus Schiffer. It looks like it's going to take place on the podium as well. Max is dead in the background. Kenny's dead in the background. Just team photo first, maybe. Everybody involved with Team Germany. So 2 KTMs and a Suzuki for Team Germany. Or is this... Here's Amy. Here we go.
What an absolutely incredible day, but may I present our 2012 FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations winners, Germany. Congratulations, guys. What an absolutely incredible day. Kayla, we'll come to you first. When you started out on this weekend, do you think this was going to be possible?
Actually not. You know, there are a lot of strong teams out there, but Friday, our goal was, you know, to come on the podium. And that was our goal, so to take the win is absolutely amazing. You know, we have done a great job the whole time, and I'm really happy with my results. Only what I did, but Max and Marcus, they killed it too. And the worst result we had was a 14th place in that last moto, and it's just so amazing. You know, I was yelling so much in the pit lane just so that we win together. It's amazing, and I think the first time ever. And congrats to the team, my teammate. They did awesome. Everybody did good.
Thank you. Again, Marcus, we're going to come over to you. How tough was it out there today on track? I mean, that third moto, it was pretty choppy.
It was the hardest race of my life, I think. The first moto of mine was good. I was happy with the 7th place. I think after a few years, my best result. So I'm so happy about the results today. Unbelievable.
Congratulations. I'm going to come and squeeze in the middle of you and come and have a word with Max. Max, congratulations. I spoke to you just before that third moto, and you guys, you didn't even know that you were topping that leaderboard. How does it feel?
Just great. The race was not so bad. I was really good. In the beginning, I was dropping back a little bit. In the end, I found my rhythm, and I could pass some guys back like Clement, because in the pit they were cheering so hard, like I need to pass Clement for the points, and I have done everything I can. and now it's just amazing feeling, especially after with all the injury I had, the comeback, and now finish the single season with the world title for Germany. It's an amazing feeling. I'm so happy, and the German crowds were awesome around the track. They were cheering so hard, and that's just pushing you forward all the time. What a way to end the year. When it comes to Hubert, you must be so proud of these guys over here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so happy. I cannot say this in words at the moment because, it's difficult to find the right words. We had a so good feeling the whole week. We had easy practice on Wednesday, and it makes so much fun to work with these boys. So all of them stay on the floor. Nobody of them is flying. So it's a very, very perfect atmosphere.
Many congratulations to you all, and I'm going to leave them now. There's a lot of fans out there waiting to congratulations. But that's it. The 2012 Monster Energy Motocross of Nations is done.
So Team Germany wrap it up here. They've led. In fact, they were the fastest, the most consistent team in the qualifying. They had the lowest score there. They went to the line in first position. They were leading after the first race, the second race. The pressure was on. There wasn't a lot in it in terms of when the race actually started. There were only 2 or 3 points in it, so the guys had to be on top of their game. Max Nagel pulling off a couple of positions in the end just to give them a little bit of breathing space. 4 points, the difference between Germany and Belgium, 25 and 29. The USA outplayed this weekend on 39, but as we say, you look at the results. A 14th for Blake Baggett after 1 or 2 crashes. Could have been a little bit better for him in that one, but he was 6th in the second moto. But Justin Barsha, a 14th for him after he was sitting in 5th place. That could have been a little bit different, so they could have taken away the 14th place of Blake Baggett. And that result would have been just a little bit different. That is just try and work that out. Ken Roxon was the individual class winner in MX2. Winning both motos easy in that respect. So the USA, had they had not had that problem with Barsha, they would have had a 9, a 3, a 5. That would have put them on 17. They would have had a 6. That would have put them on 23. And then they would have had a 7. So they would have still been on 30 points. But they would have been in a better frame of mind to go after Belgium for second, who finished on 29. So, but it's Team Germany, though, who are the 2012 FIM Monster Energy Motocross of Nations champions. They'll look forward to a million questions down in the press conference a little later on. And of course, they'll be looking to party on as well. And if they don't, well, you don't blame them, but I'm sure they will. There'll be a lot of atmosphere down there. There'll be more than energy drink sipped tonight, that's for sure. Might be mixed with a little bit of alcohol, but hey, it's been a great way to round out the Motocross of Nations this weekend. Team Germany are world champions, Belgium second, the USA third. And my German colleague here, he's just going to gloat now quickly. We're off air in about 30 seconds. So, Simon, you're the happiest man in the paddock.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, eh? Unbelievable. You see this, you see this team, you see these guys. Perfect, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to you, the Germans. I'll be at the party. You know the room that you gave up just a moment ago? You want it back, don't you?
For sure. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you. Congratulations.